What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Rick Lifestyle. Actually tuning in here for the first time, guys. Thanks for tuning in. All my loyal subscribers and viewers, thank you for watching. You know guys, today I'm actually here on the I-24. I'm heading over to Captain, Illinois, and I was driving and I was thinking like, oh man, you know, it really feels good to be driving like a brand new truck. You know, no issues. I'm not gonna say they're perfect, but I can tell you this is gonna be my experience owning a used truck. Now let me tell you, it's a horrible story. Now back in 2015, I want to say 2015 it was, I bought a used truck from Lone Mountain, infamous Lone Mountain. It was a Peterbilt 386. It was a 2010 model year, and I specifically wanted to go for that model because I never wanted to deal with the DEF system. So what I did, I actually looked for that specific truck. I wanted a Cummins, I wanted no DEF, and so I get one of those 2010 trucks, you know. And man, let me tell you, it was a nightmare. I got that truck with about 580,000 miles on it. I think that's correct. If it's not 580, it was 480, but I think it was 580. That truck actually used to own by USA Trucks. Now, a lot of people might get at me in the comment section, but let me tell you something. It's so important to do your groundwork and do your research. I was young, have no clue. I was excited about buying my first truck. And let me tell you something. The worst thing I could do is buy that used truck that I did. I didn't have any ideas about motors, what to go for. You know, I was new into trucking. I'm doing trucking now for, January is going to be 13 years. So literally next month is going to be 13 years. Never have any experience what I'm looking for. I just see a truck and I know that, okay, pretty cool looking truck. That's what I was going for. Pretty cool looking truck. First mistake, man. So my problem begins, the first thing, it was an automatic, and I was thinking long term, like, I could change it out and put a stick shift inside here, so no big deal. I think like I could run it, make some money, then change out the transmission, which eventually I did. After that, transmission started acting up crazy. So that was the first thing I got rid of, was the automatic transmission. These days, you know, these automatics are definitely doing way better. Still not my preferred choice. But number one, the first thing went out on me on that truck was the coolant reservoir. That coolant reservoir, that went out. The second thing went out on me was the radiator. And trust me, it went horribly downhill from there on. Let's just say I've replaced everything you can think of. I've replaced on that truck. The coolant hoses, all those stuff, the turbos, the actuator. And let me tell you something, guys. I've spent at the dealership. At this time, I don't have like a personal mechanic. You know, you have your personal mechanic. They will work with you on the prices and help you fix the truck. So I bring it to the dealership. You wanted a turbo. So the truck actually have a DPF filter, and that needed to be replaced. The turbo need to be replaced, and the turbo actuator need to be replaced. Just those three items alone, between labor and parts, it costs $12,400. $12,400. That was one bill. So, you know, my humblest advice is, a lot of people, you know, they see trucking, some people think it's still cool. I really enjoy trucking these days, you know. I would say I'm fortunate to be driving my dream truck while doing it, which makes it way much better. At least you're driving something that you really enjoy driving, that's for sure. gonna be out here searching for a truck, do your research. Do your research. I should have never bought that truck because the lesson that I've learned, it has set me back years into making money versus years into just putting money into that truck. And you change this part today and tomorrow is another part, and the cycle goes on and on and on. It does never stop. If I should ever do it all over again, I would go brand new. Brand new. This is I'm driving my 2023 Peterbilt 389, and this truck have 428,000 miles on there with zero issues. Yes, I have a high monthly payment. That's fine. I'd rather have a high monthly payment than an unknown bill that is coming my way, because there's no way I could actually think that I'm gonna get a bill for $12,400, one bill, and it never stops there. So I put so much money into that used truck. So I would really tell anybody, if you're gonna buy a used truck for your first truck, also probably go with a cheaper option, something like freight liner. Now, a lot of people don't like freight liners, but I'm here to tell you, those are better starting trucks to begin with. A DD15, people said, oh, those are problems. I think the good thing about a DD is that parts is available everywhere. They can get those things fixed at a TA easily, or any under the tree mechanic can fix those. As for the Cummins and the Peterbilt, the parts are going to be way more expensive. That's for sure. That's my experience. So you definitely have to look into stuff like those. One of the best trucks though, let's give some listing here. One of the best trucks you could buy is something with like a 60 series motor. Those things will run forever. A 60 series motor, those Detroits, 12.7, those things run forever. Cats, if people still love cats, I know a lot of people, they're trying to get good fuel efficiency, but those cat motors are also good. C15, whether you want to go double turbo, single turbo, those motors, they will run forever. This X15 that I'm running, this is an X15. Now let me tell you, again, beautiful motor, no issues so far. I have this truck, February coming, will be 3 years with zero issue. All I do is drive this truck. And that's why I would never go back use. I would never go back use. So my worst experience out here, guys, that I've learned is to stay away from used trucks, man. You don't see big companies out here buying each other used trucks to build their company. They just don't do it. So if you have the money and you can buy new versus used, go new. I can tell you guys, for this truck, I actually paid down, I think it was $23,000 as my down payment. It's a 6-year deal, and I paid $2,800 per month for this truck. How do you get a used truck? How do you get a new truck? Well, if it's the first time you're gonna buy a truck, most likely the fact that you don't have commercial credit, you will need to establish some form of commercial credit, or you're gonna have to pay a higher down payment. The fact that I paid $23,000 is because I've already established, commercial credit, which is buying that used truck. I actually did pay it off. That truck cost $68,000 back when I bought it. I did pay something like $6,500 down and $1,425 per month. I remember that payment, and I did end up paid off. Did it make me any money? No, didn't make no money from it. Worst mistake ever. So I learned my lessons there. This is my second brand new truck that I'm owning, and I would never go any other way. Brand new all the way. If you have the money and you know what you're doing, if you know how to fix these things, take your chances, you can do it that way. Or if you're gonna buy a used truck, do your research. I don't know. This is just me throwing this out there. Maybe get a truck from Prime Inc., one of their used truck, because you know they don't really run them that hard. They don't run them that hard on the road. They always look like, I say that, look like they're in good condition. So maybe the motors are serviced. I don't know. I just would not buy a used truck. But if I should think about it, probably one of those Prime Inc. truck as my first truck would be a better option. So yeah, guys, be careful out there, man, because it put a lot of people into bankruptcy. You know, if you're gonna buy a used truck, maybe go something with like a Freightliner. They call them Centuries, or they have some other ones, but you know, try to make it like a 60 series model. Those things will actually make you some money. I've run one of those, and that's what I ran and bought this brand new truck that I bought. Never give me any issue or minimal issue. You know, but new truck, best way to go. Don't make the mistake that I did, because you'll be just driving out here trying to pay for something that you think is going to make you some money, and it's not going to happen, man. And some people do get lucky. Now you don't want to be out here driving and you know you're basing your work on luck, hopes. You hope that you're going to make some money with this truck, or you know, you're thinking like you're gonna get lucky by this used truck. You know, just be careful with your chances that to be out here, because it will put you into bankruptcy. Guys, let me know in the comment section if you ever owned a truck, you're planning on buying a truck. You know, let me know if you own a truck, what your experience has been like, whether it was a new truck or a used truck. You know, I would be very interested to see the comments of what everyone experience was like. But as you know, my experience wasn't a very friendly one, and new is the way I would go. So leave it in the comment section. This is Ring Lifestyle. I'm out. Like, comment, share. Let's talk about it in the comment section.